Every week we've been taking a chapter from John Maxwell's book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. We're up to chapter 5 already, which is an extremely brief chapter called The Law of Addition. And the simple lesson in all this is that leaders add value to other people. In our serving others, in our leading others, it's not about us as leaders and what we can get out of this. It's about the other people and what value can I help to provide to the lives of others. The story that he starts with is that of Costco. I don't pretend to know a lot about Costco, but John Maxwell says that Costco is the 4th largest retailer in the U.S., the 9th largest retailer in the world. So you would expect that the CEO of that company would be making millions, right? Instead, he says that you go to the offices, it's interesting, instead of all sorts of fancy furniture, they're operating on folding tables and folding chairs like we have here. The CEO picks up his own phone, he goes down to the lobby to greet guests himself. He walks around with an employee name tag, you know, like we go to supermarkets and they have their name tags. He has his own employee name tag that all the other Costco employees wear. And his salary is only $350,000 a year, which for a CEO of the 4th largest retailer in the United States, that seems like a pretty modest salary. But John Maxwell says what makes him extraordinary is the way he treats his people. Wall Street gets after him. Jim Sinegal, Wall Street gets after him because of how much he pays his people and because of the benefits he provides them. According to John Maxwell, he provides people roughly 42% more than they could be making with any of their competitors. He offers them good benefits, and John Maxwell says you could think of it as just being good business, treating your employees right, or for those of us in leadership, we could think about how it is that that's just good leadership, investing in other people, adding value to other people. So that was his example of someone who's focused less on himself and what's in it for me, and more on those others who are part of his company. Various questions for reflection that John Maxwell proposes as we think through a story like that is, what should be a leader's first responsibility? Who should the leader be thinking about first and foremost? And also, how do you respond differently to different leaders? Think about this in your own experience. Have you ever come across any people who are like so self-centered that they're always thinking about themselves? How do we respond to them, especially leaders in those positions? How do you respond to a leader who's always talking and thinking about him or herself versus how do you respond to a leader who's more selfless, who's thinking more about other people than themselves? John Maxwell provides a few guidelines, 4 guidelines for adding value to other people. So he talks about we add value to other people when we do 4 things. We add value to other people first when we truly value them. He uses the example here of Daryl Hartley Leonard, the former board chair of the Hyatt hotel chain. Mr. Hartley Leonard once said, when a person moves into a position of authority, he or she gives up the right to abuse people. This is kind of serious. We probably can all think of, I'm thinking of a certain boss that I had at one time in my life who yelled at people and demeaned people and was just this real negative presence. What this gentleman is saying is, wait a minute, when you get into a leadership position, you give up all right to be that way. You are no longer a nasty person treating people in poor ways. You got to be a person that others look up to and a person who values people. John Maxwell says, not only must leaders not harm others, we have an obligation to help others. In the church, in whatever leadership position, we need to think about, okay, how are we helping other people, especially those other people who are involved in our ministries. He talks about how it is that we need to care about people in such a way that they know it. He used the example of one of his mentors. He used to really, really respect another man until one day he saw this man yell and berate another person. And then he just kept watching this man for like the next few days. And notice how it was that this man came in, went to work, and went home. Like he'd pass by people like without even saying hello or anything like that. And John Maxwell said, sort of like an epiphany, an aha moment of saying, that's not what leaders are. Leaders are not so focused on results, so much as they're focused on results and relationships. They're not focused only on productivity, but they're focused on productivity and on people. Management is focused on results and is focused on productivity. Leadership focuses on results and relationships, productivity and people. So let's relate that back to the church, that in our ministries, since we like to pick on the environment committee, let's just use that as an example, right? So the environment committee, it's not just about decorating the church, which is good and important and necessary. It's not just about focusing on decorating the church, but there's also something about that group of people. I'm doing it with this group of people. So no matter what we're doing in whatever ministry, how do I do this with these other people? How do I involve them? How do I help to give them the skills to be stepping up and doing those sorts of things? And then maybe in the future in whatever ministry, it puts me into a different position when I'm empowering them and giving them, equipping them with the knowledge and skills to be doing what I'm doing. We help to work ourselves out of a job, right? We find ourselves in a job. Christopher right now is our altar server. Let's use that example. We'll pick on the altar servers as that. Christopher is with the altar servers, right? Okay? So then what happens then when we reach out and we find someone else and we say, hey, have you ever thought about being an altar server? I bet you'd be a good altar server. It's going to take time. It's going to take effort. It's going to take energy training them. But once we do, what we do is we have someone else who's able to do what we do. It doesn't mean that, it essentially puts us into a different position, that of real leadership. When you have other people that you're inviting into your ministries and helping to equip them, you're bringing value to them by teaching them what you know. So John Maxwell is simply bringing to mind how it is that as leaders then we need to think about other people. Management is about results. Leadership is about relationships. How are we going to do this with other people and help to equip them with the necessary knowledge and skills and everything else that they need to be able to do what we do? Leaders should expect to serve others rather than be served. By us serving other people, it's showing them their value. It's adding value to their lives. Number 2, we add value to others when we make ourselves more valuable. Ooh, think about that for a moment. Becky uses the example of another teacher, a less experienced teacher looking up to her. I have news for you. It happened with me with a piano teacher once. I had a piano teacher, and she gave me lessons, and I kept improving, but I could only improve up to her level of piano teaching. In order to keep me as a student, what had to happen? She had to improve her own, which she never did. I moved on beyond that teacher to another teacher. But think about that for our own selves, right? We can help to guide a person along to a certain level, but unless our skills are always growing, we're going to bring them along to our level, and then we're going to say, you're going to have to find another teacher. I can't teach you from here. So either we send them off, we give them what we can, and then we send them off to other people, or we find ways ourselves to bring more value to ourselves so that we can bring more value to other people. Maybe that's through the things that we read, the things that we do. What are we doing here in this group? I have a feeling it's, by reading books like this and studying books like this, it's bringing more value to us so that we can bring more value to others. He says, the example he uses is, he says, you can't give what you don't have, so we need to grow personally so that you have more to offer. The higher you raise your lid, the higher we're going to be able to lift people. The third thing he says is we add value to others when we know and relate to what others value. Ooh, this is a tough one for me because I know some people who really value Texas football, whether that's university football or whether that's professional football. What I'm hearing him say is we value other people when we know and relate to the things that they value. Oh man. That brings with it some challenge, right? Knowing what that other person values and using that as a way to build our relationship. Which is why I love one of the exercises that he's going to propose later is, can you write a list of the people who are closest to you and what do they value? Can you say what the people closest to you value? What it is that is important to them. He says, management consultant Nancy Austin tells the story of finding a card under her hotel bed. Imagine this for a moment. You're staying in a hotel for the night. This woman looked under her bed, and what did she find under her bed at the hotel? It was a card saying what? Yes, we clean here too. How cool is that? What a great example that obviously what was important to this woman, I mean, if you're taking the time to look under the hotel bed, don't know why you would look under there, but Nancy Austin used that example to say, this is something that's important to me. And how interesting that the housekeeping staff was acknowledging essentially, the person who looks under the bed like this, it's obviously important to me, and they're looking out for what's important to me. They're cleaning even under the bed. John Maxwell says, we expect good customer service. Ooh, think about this for a moment. Every time we call those 800 numbers, we expect good customer service. Do we expect to give good customer service? In terms of us in our own ministries, how is our customer service, you might say, right? Are we as good to those other people in our ministries as we want people to be good to us when we're, doing any sorts of things with like customer service? He asks, do you listen to others? Do you know and relate to what others value? He uses a phrase there that I just put down as words to remember because it was great illustration. He says, listen, learn, and lead. It's kind of cool. Listen to that other person, learn what you can about that person from that exchange, and use that in your leadership. So we add values to others when we truly value them. We add values to others when we make ourselves more valuable. We add value to others when we know and relate to what others value. But number 4, we add value to others when we do things that God values. Now, this is coming from a preacher. John Maxwell, of course, is a preacher for many years. He warned us, before he gets into these 3 guidelines, he warned us from the very beginning. He says, the 4th one you may disagree with if you're not a person of faith, but I'm a person of faith, so I'm going to say it. So if you want to put this book down after the first 3, you can put it down, but I'm going to say the 4th anyways. And the 4th one is, we bring value to others when we do things that God values. The question becomes, how do you know what God values? He says, look to the Bible. The Bible has all sorts of values in there. Matthew chapter 25 is the example that he uses. When all the people are in front of God on the judgment day, we're going to be like goats and sheep. And God's going to separate us into 2 groups. Which group you're going to be into? The Bible tells us the things that we should be doing. The things that are important to God. The things that God's going to judge us by. Did you do these things? So we bring value to other people when we do things that God values, things that are good and that are aligned with Scripture. So various questions that he proposes for reflection. He asks, what does it mean to add value to someone? He says, think about it for a moment. Describe how someone has added value to you. Think about your own childhood, early adulthood, whenever, even today. Who are the people who've added value to your life? And what evidence can you point to that you're adding value to other people? In whatever relationship, can you point to something? To be able to say, this is how I've added value to that person's life. He asks, what steps will you take to understand what others around you value? This to me is quite a challenge, when I see different people at church, my relationships as pastor are sometimes pretty superficial. Hello, how's it going? I'm seeing so many people that it's sort of like my energy is going wide rather than deep, right? I think John Maxwell is encouraging us, challenging persons like myself. Wide is good and it's important, but at the same time too, how do you go deep and find out what's important to people, what people value? What do they value? He says, make a list of those closest to you. What do they value? And how well do you relate to their values? If you go back to the example of football, I don't live with anyone who watches football, but I'm imagining that if I did, that would be a big challenge because they value that thing. Okay, suddenly how do I relate to them and they're interested in that and or to that, right? The things that they value, how do we come and learn to value the things that others value? And then finally, and I think this is a great challenge for all of us here, He ends this chapter by asking, whom will you mentor during the coming months? Think to yourself, which person are you going to intentionally bring value to? Think about that tonight. Who are you going to bring value to during the coming months? And then think about, in what 3 ways could you add value to this person's life? And how often are you intentionally going to meet with that person to bring value? Becky, since you used the example of the young teacher, let's follow that. There are all sorts of people whom we could be helping to share with them whatever knowledge, skills, experience that we have. Okay? In what 3 ways could I help that novice teacher, or that person in my ministry, or that family member or friend? In what ways could I bring value to that person during the coming weeks? And then, what's my plan for spending time with that person? I can't do it unless I spend time with that person. The last point that we end with in this chapter is simply making it a practice to perform small acts of service for others. His question is, do you ever find yourself in certain situations where you're doing something and you're sort of irritated and you have to do it? I don't know about y'all, I can probably think of a few examples, right? It's been a long day and I come home and there are dishes in the sink and I'm thinking, Brandon. That's what you do? Right? I'm just using it as an example. Not that it ever happens in any of our homes. But imagine for a moment this hypothetical example where on the one hand we could get irked by this, or we could look at it as an opportunity for service in some way. Great. John, what was he thinking when he wrote this? So he says, make it a practice to perform small acts of service for others without seeking credit or recognition. And he said, keep doing that until you no longer resent doing it. You have to do it forever and then some. But that, I kind of like, he didn't conclude the chapter that way, but I've heard his last point, because I didn't think it fit with the questions for reflection so neatly, but it's sort of like, just imagine those things that sort of irritate you. You know, it's about serving. It's not so much about me. Yes, I'm tired. I'd rather be doing those. Okay, but you know what? I'm just gonna do this act of service, whatever this act of service is.
Those are the have children.
Those who have children, parents are a tremendous
Every day we
example.
have to teach values.
Every time she gets them to drink, she's getting a new glass.
Or a new towel.
Glasses in the sink in 2 hours.
When you get through with your kids, then the grandkids. You know?
And think of it through the lenses of this chapter then. If we're charged with raising kids or grandkids, or if we're teaching or whatever, nieces, nephews, neighbors, whatever, it's sort of, okay, how am I going to bring value to this person's life? This neighbor who's going through whatever this week or this month. Is there a way that I can help to bring value to this person's life? This family member, this friend, this... Yeah?
It does.
How's that for adding value to people's lives? How do we find ourselves doing that? Inspiring other people to do the things that we're doing in ministry. Whatever ministry you find yourself in, how can we reach out and inspire others to do what we're doing, and it gives us that chance to add value to them. It challenges us to grow ourselves, because it's a challenge. Bringing value to others.